Live your life, boy.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Conspiracy Farm, where we don't start the conspiracies, we just add the water. And now, your host of the most state-of-the-art, most informed podcast on the interweb, I present to you Pat Miletich and Jeffrey Wilson. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for war?
Yeah, rear naked choke of Cocker Spaniel, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Bro.
Change the neighborhood up.
Conspiracy Farm. Go. Check it out.
All right. Ready to rev it up again. Excited. Conspiracy Farm Podcast gets to do a swapcast with none other than Kris Paronto from the Battleline Podcast. Kris Paronto, in case you dumbasses don't know who he is, former Army Ranger, CIA security officer, 13 Hours, a famous book and movie out about the harrowing experience that he and many other good Americans, great Americans, went through in Benghazi, Libya, trying to protect Ambassador Stevens and his assistant. And Kris, I just wanted to say, man, thank you very much for even taking the time to jump on with us twice now.
Yeah, I know. Thanks for asking me twice. I usually bite the hand that feeds me, or I burn bridges the first time. So I usually don't get asked back a second time.
Or you already killed him.
Oh, I already killed. Yeah. That generally that happens if you piss. No, are you kidding me? You seen how big I am? Like, if you piss me off, I'm like 150 pounds dripping wet. What am I gonna do? Except sneak in your bedroom and slit your throat. No, did I say that? Did I say that out loud? Can we? No, I wouldn't do that. No, really. No.
Bad guys seem to drop around this guy for some reason.
Yeah.
Can't figure it out. But no, so obviously we wanted to get you on. Jeff and I were excited as hell that you responded and had time to jump on, and we wanted to talk to you. First off, before we even go down the rabbit hole with all the crazy shit that's going on right now, we wanted to ask, let's talk about your podcast. Let's talk about what you got going on in your life and everything else.
Well, I got the Battleline Podcast. You've been on it. You were, I think, our 5th episode, Pat. I think it was 5th. It was early on, and
honored.
It was good. It was solid. It was good response. That's our audience. It's our audience is a lot of veterans in there, and veterans and UFC and MMA. It kind of goes hand in hand. I think Tim Kennedy kind of bridged that gap, even though he had tons of followers. We followed MMA because that's it's a big deal. It's combatives. It's alpha male sort of rah shit. And good response. And we're at number 20 with our podcast. Just the 20th episode with Nate Boyer. For those that don't know Nate, Nate was a former SF guy, but he's known a lot in the community with the open letter he wrote to Colin Kaepernick about the kneeling. Nate and I actually also rep the same apparel company called Thadia. We have the same athletic apparel company. Okay. And no, Nate, I if you've ever seen the Battleline Podcast, we don't. And Pat, I've talked to you a million times. I don't go on an agenda. I don't battle aside any. I did for 3 years. I don't buy in that bullshit anymore. We got people on that they can say what they want to say, and Nate's a good dude. I even told him during our podcast with the Kaepernick thing. I'm like, hey man, I know good cops and I know shithead cops too. But you shouldn't. You being a veteran, you should have advised him. Yeah, he can kneel if he can do whatever, but you use the wrong symbol. The flag should not be something that just is used and because you're desecrating it. And I've flown with flag draped coffins from Tripoli to Germany, sitting right next, 1 foot away from flag draped coffins of Roan, Sean Smith, Ambassador Stevens, loading those coffins on a plane. When the day after in Tripoli, loading them on. The team loaded them on. The Air Force load master let us do it. So. It means a lot to me with the flag, and so. But anyway, where he was on, you can listen to that Battleline podcast that we just did. But also, got some books going on. You have the Patriots Creed, the Ranger Ways, the second and third book. 13 Hours was the first one that I wrote with the team that we had, and then right now, brother, honestly, I get to be home. Everything's canceled. The whole world is canceled right now. Yeah. So I've my speaking events. I do a lot of corporate and public speaking, but of course all those events got canceled because of the whatever the hell we want to call this thing going on, the Corona and Lyme virus, the Cinco de Mayo virus. Should I say that? Am I going to get in trouble for that one?
The Modelo virus, the
Modelo virus, the Dos Equis virus. But no, I get to be home, dude. I get to be a dad. This is a blessing. This is truly an honor and a blessing for me to actually be home. Finally, I play board games. I get to be a dad again. I get to hang out with my 4-year-old. I get to cook dinner. I actually washed dishes in the sink last night, like I did when I was 4. My mom used to make me do it.
That is awesome.
So this is fantastic. I really do think this is a reset, and I believe in God. You don't have to. You don't have to. I'm not telling you have to. I tell you have to have faith in something. But to me, I think this is God just saying, okay, here's a reset. Bam. Start over.
Literally 5 minutes before we came on, and we talked about it last night and just kind of echoed it in the Facebook post. This is going to be more than just a financial or a social reset. This is going to be a personal and spiritual reset.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it's an eye-opener, man. It's an eye-opener. We all know we're on borrowed time, but these kind of things just really, really bring it home. Whatever it is about the virus, I mean, me personally, we're going to talk about it. I think lots going to more come from the chaos surrounding it than the actual virus.
Yeah.
But, it's definitely a wake-up call for all of us.
Agreed, brother. But here we are. The things are still going to keep going well. Podcasts are still going to go. I think podcasts. This is a great time for podcasts, and I do think podcasts need to take over the media stream. Get away from the mainstream media now. I mean, it's just doom and gloom all the time, and podcasts can take it a different route.
Yeah.
And now this is a great time for small podcasts. In fact, I recommend if there's veterans out there right now, start your podcast. I know a lot of you have been talking about it. Start it. This is a perfect time to start your podcast, and faith-based podcasts, and just getting out there and telling your stories. People want to hear that.
Sales of webcams have gone through the roof, they say. Seriously.
And that's not a bad thing.
No.
That isn't. I don't.
We're
think
all going to be home.
Thing.
Let's use it productively. Yeah. It's like you said, as we've seen the media dying over the last many years. They've lied to us over and over again. This is really going to bring that home for conspiracy theorists and non-conspiracy theorists alike, because everyone's like, wait a minute, why is everybody freaking out and shut everything down?
I know.
It sucks that people are dying, but it's like, it's not even, the reaction is not even kind of proportionate to the threat, it doesn't seem like.
No, I remember H1N1 because I was deploying at the time. That's the swine flu for all you people. Dude, everybody, go research. Don't research media. Actually go research like a mathematician and look at the statistics of deaths and flu and age groups and so forth. Look at there's still people dying from the swine flu right now. And I want to say it was 575,000 to date deaths through the swine flu. And these and that's when I was worried at the time, because that was hitting kids, and my daughter was young, and I was deploying all the time. So I didn't say it, and we didn't have these platforms to do it, and also we didn't have this craziness going on right now. But I was worried every time I left for deployment. I'm like, I tell my wife, and watch our little girl. And my son was 6, and the kids were dying from the swine flu, and that was a big to me. I thought, and people, me and Ian, the guy that's on my Battleline podcast with me, we argued about it. He's like, oh, that's not the same thing. Well, Ian was like 10 when that was going on. I was in my 30s when that was going on with a family, and I didn't see the panic that I'm seeing from people right now.
Right.
And I'll be honest. To me, still from looking at the numbers, the numbers aren't done yet. I get it, but to me, I still thought the swine flu was, and still is, as far as the numbers go, worse than what we've got right now. But again, the numbers still aren't going to be final yet with the coronavirus. So,
and with the money to
now,
do these free tests, obviously we're going to see a pop in positive results. So, I mean, that's obviously going to spike the numbers as well. So, and that's the thing. Is that going to be used to create more fear?
More fear.
Yeah.
That was, and if for all you people out there that are worried about it, so research China today. This was their first day today or yesterday. Again, I just read the statistics. I don't get on the Fox News or CNN. I don't do that. I just look at statistics. This was their first day where they didn't have a case. So, and that's, to me, if you want to get in the half-full category, or you half-empty people get in the half-full category, come back over, look at the half-full thing, see if we're turning a corner. If it does, positive thoughts anyway, at least get your mindset. You know what?
Yeah. There
always is an end. There's always a tunnel at the end, and a light at the end of the tunnel. This is one of them, and we'll get this figured out. But just in the meantime, God dang it, stop freaking panicking so much. And I know my words ain't resonating with anybody, especially when you say don't panic. People tend to panic more.
Right.
But again, I think we're okay.
The thing that I would say, Kris, is, you've been through a lot of pretty hairy situations, right? So when you say don't panic, you've had a lot of hairy situations. The 13 hours in Benghazi just being one of the many. So most civilians are going, yeah, whatever, dude.
Yeah. You're right. You're right.
But at the same time, here's the thing. It's, and I talked about this for a couple nights now, and I'm only bringing this up so that you can give me feedback and the cone of the spread of this thing. Myself and my crew, and when I said this on the first time I mentioned it on our podcast, was it Wednesday night, Jeff? I said, I think I'm almost 100% sure I had this thing in January because my entire crew got sick. SHOT Show, a bunch of people
my
were sick,
Lord.
Right?
Yeah, no, keep going. I'm sorry, Pat.
So
but
anyway,
not.
I mean, I was in my basement having convulsions. My lungs sounded like 2 bowls of soup for almost 2 weeks. Yeah. It was bad. It was really, really bad. My wife got real sick. A couple of my girls got sick. They fended it off pretty well. But some of the guys on my crew were deathly ill. And then all the people on Facebook Live started posting saying, I had it too. Holy cow, I had it too. And then a doctor posted on Twitter, a famous doctor, and said, newsflash, if you were sick between November and February with an upper respiratory infection that made you very, very ill, you had the coronavirus already. So the media, I want you to give me feedback because I'm leading to a question on this. The media is blowing this thing up. Is this thing, my belief is that this thing is cover for what I think, because I paid attention to the banking sector and a lot of other things. I think it's cover for a potential economic reset.
Well, that's a possibility, bro. I don't know as far as that goes. I think it's the economy's we're gonna go into a recession. I honestly believe that's just the numbers that you're seeing and the jobs and layoffs and people not out there being able to pay their bills because they don't have work right now. But on the other side, so I don't know on that side. I do agree with you though that I do believe that a lot of people had it in January. SHOT Show, I had 4 days. I have never been that sick ever. My wife was there actually at SHOT Show with me, and I was and my job, I'm shaking everybody's hand. I'm you know how I am. I'm a hugger. I'm a hugger. I'm shaking. And so I went through like 2 bottles of Purell. I'm blowing my nose. I'm having problems breathing. I'll be honest, and this isn't a toughness thing. How I got over it. I actually would go for a run every day and just hawk all that crap out, and my chest would burn. That's just. I always learned from an old drill sergeant. He said, if you're ever sick, run it out. If you have a broken leg, run it out. If you have a headache, run it out. That was always this thing in the 90s. So that's how I dealt with it. But I told my wife, like, gosh, I've been that sick in I don't know how long, years. And then I found out other guys were deathbed. My buddy Ben Morgan actually had to go to the hospital and was on intravenous fluids after the SHOT Show. He's a first bat ranger. He never gets that sick either. So I agree. I think January, a lot of it was for a reset? Was it for economic purposes? Well, no, I don't know. I think the media, though, whether they intended to do it or not, they're capitalizing on this doom and gloom because they make money when this happens. They gain control when this happens. They instill panic. So if they did it, if it's intentionally to cover up a reset, shame on you. If it's not intentional, but you're using this as the ability, or using this as the opportunity to instill more panic and fear, so you get your ratings and you get your commercial advertisements up. I understand the advertisements now with our pod, because we have sponsors on our podcast. Well, the more listeners you get, the higher sponsors are going to pay to be on your brother. The media, the mainstream media. That's guys. That's Fox. That's CNN. That's MSNBC. That's NBC. That's That's how they make their money, and the doom and gloom always will get more responses than the happy, good go feel.
Right.
If you don't believe me, test on your social media.
Oh no, that's absolutely. There's ratings. There's so much ratings in doom and gloom. But is there any? I mean, when people pay attention, what's going on? When I hear things like National Declaration of Emergencies and FEMA. And and we're hearing about possible military locking down or going into certain big municipalities and big cities. This, to me, and people who've heard about, you've seen the movie The Siege, or you've seen these things where they suspend constitutional rights and people can be disappeared or whatever. I mean, because the things can get so hairy, and that's kind of, for me, and I've said this many times on the show, kind of a fear-based conditioning. Once you scare the shit out of people, they're kind of open. They're open for anything. And they're really not thinking rationally. But I'm seeing people are sending me stuff about Hummers moving to Chicago, up in 55 North.
Well, a guy just filmed a train load of, I don't know how many they were, but the train
long.
was awful long, and it kept going, and it had Hummers on it. Another guy filmed Hummers going up I-55 towards Chicago. But a guy just texted me on Facebook about an hour ago, and he goes, "Hey, I saw your post from Wheatland, Iowa, from the train tracks over there." And he goes, "I was just down. I'm not going to say what military base he was at." He goes, "I just got back from so and so military base," and he goes, "This is spot on." And then he goes, "This is what freaked me out a little bit." He goes, "Major military operation shouldn't take too long."
What was that? Was that a guard? Was that the guard or guard guy or reserve guy? Because if that's a guard guy or reserve guy, a lot of former Rangers and SF veterans are out there going, "Really, buddy? All right, bring it." click.
I think
really?
this is. I'm pretty sure this guy's a contractor. Contractor.
Okay. You know where I'm getting at with that, though, brother. But I don't think that hasn't crossed my. Yeah, of course. When you have a president that goes on and says, I am a wartime president. You know how many times we've heard that overseas? You know how many times a president's somebody gone on in charge, whether it's a prime minister or it says it basically espouses. And again, it was a little ego-ness. I thought it. I don't watch the news. I was told to it by my engineer, Ian Scotto, and of course, in the back of your head, guys like myself thinking, okay, wait a second. Now, I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole yet because I am not going to instill panic in people.
Well, just to hypothesize, though, with your military experience, think of the ingredients we're seeing right now, Kris. You're looking at people out of work. They're out of money. Like Pat said, and this is such an incredible, profound line, look at how people are acting in grocery stores and their belly is full. When you look at the potential for civil unrest, and then you combine that with them pumping all of this cash into the system, which is the ingredients for hyperinflation and the dollar collapsing, all these different ingredients. I mean, it's not to fear. It's not to freak anybody out. For me, I'm just realistically, pragmatically seeing how bad this could possibly get in 6 to 8 weeks. Yeah. And so when you see military moving on the ground and you see these ingredients taking place and people kicking the shit out of each other in grocery stores now, what's going to happen? Whatever it is. I've seen several videos. What do you see? I mean, prognosticate, hypothesize, if you will. What do you see?
Well, I see the worst. I think everybody that served will always, you always plan for the worst, hope for the best. Right. You really do. That's how you are. So you're war gaming everything. So you're not going down that rabbit hole of, oh my God, this is the worst thing that could happen. Oh my gosh, everything's going to go to shit. We're all going to die. And but you're thinking, okay, this is the worst possible scenario, which is what you're talking about. To me, that's the worst possible scenario, which would invite socialism. But then I'm coming back. Wait a second. We got a president that had the economy was way up here. He's espoused to not be a socialist. He's fighting all that. He's in control. He's beat everything that's gone against him. Why on earth would that president let this happen? So I'm trying to also speak rationally that way and think common sense. Why? So and that's where my mindset's at right now as I'm trying to put the puzzle together. Like, okay, am I just going down that rabbit hole because I've seen too many
Red Dawn movies?
Am I going down that hole there? Because that hurts people too. Because the movies done. People are like walking in, they start thinking apocalypse. But you're right. Common sense. This is what's going on. All right, but then I come back there. So wait a second. This guy he's 100% against that. He's supposed to be. So why would we be doing that route? Normally there's an explanation for it. But I'm gonna answer your question without answering your question. I don't know. I really don't know yet because I need to let it play out.
Well, then another. You're familiar with war games and gaming situations. In October 2019, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, the World Economic Council, literally war gamed this scenario of a pandemic of coronavirus and the reaction to it.
Wow.
And it comes from bats.
Look that up. Give them the name. Event.
It's Event 201. There's many articles about it now. And then again, that's a red flag for me. And then it's another red flag that Bill Gates just literally last week, in the middle of all this, resigns from Microsoft and Berkshire Hathaway and all these other CEOs that are resigning. So I mean, again, I don't want to. I want to think the worst and hope for the best, prepare for the worst. And like you said, you got to see it play out because at this point, with declarations of national emergency, you're seeing the ingredients of all of this. It's hard for me to see how this doesn't end really bad.
And it's a possibility. It is. As a half full thing on my end, what I'm thinking is just overreaction, knee jerk, because of the way we are in society. We're not people mentally when they come together. People are really smart. I think people individually are smart. They have courage. They actually use common sense. But it's like the old Men in Black movie. It really sounds like a Men in Black movie when Tommy Lee Jones is talking to Will Smith. People can hold it together, but a person can hold it together. But people, when they come together, they panic. They're panicky. And I've seen it. I've seen it downrange where an individual, he's strong as hell, but as soon as somebody starts panicking, it's like gasoline on a fire.
Well, that's what they say about if you're next to somebody who's drowning, you're more susceptible to drowning because they panic and bring you down with them.
Because you're panicking, your muscles tighten up, and you become less buoyant. That's physically, and so you remember not to panic. I was a scout swimmer, water infiltration guy at the Ranger Battalion. I don't know why, because the SEALs would always get the water missions anyway. But that's what we taught. If you start to see people panicking, you're going to panic and you're going to sink because physically you're going to tense up and your muscles are going to be less. Well, here, this is the thing. What I got to think about here too. Don't tense up. Right now, everybody, don't tense up because you're going to drown and you're just going to go down that rabbit hole. Relax. Think of the best thing going on. To me, it's a highly likely too that just society today, because we are we're so media driven by the mainstream media, we are very easily manipulated and will believe anything that was put. And look at all the polls that are out there. We're believing all Fox News and CNN about the deaths and sicknesses and all this. But we wouldn't believe a poll that they put 2 weeks ago. Well, numbers are numbers, guys. It's still a freaking poll.
Yeah.
Use your common sense.
They're not talking about the pre-existing conditions.
That is the New York Post terrible. I think the New York. If I'm going to support a New York paper, it's usually the New York Post, not the New York Times. Right. But the New York Post, their headlines: new death in coronavirus in New York City. And then it said 70-year-old, but also 70-year-old leukemia, prior condition, had leukemia. It's like, well, put that shit on the headlines so people don't. But they don't. It's irresponsible reporting, and that's where maybe and maybe the good will come out of this too is that we will hold. Yes. Now we have a chance to hold the media more accountable. That you need to be more responsible with your reporting. So I am all over the spectrum here. I am thinking that could possibly be that we're doing a complete reset. But again, why? Trump had everything going so well. The comedy was booming.
Well, I don't know if you saw Dianne Weinstein and 3 other senators sold their stocks before this all happened too.
Sold their stock.
That's it. When you talk about talking about accountability, we need to see that, because that's bogus right there.
That's bullshit. Yeah, that's bullshit. That's just wrong. That's not conspiracy. They knew something was coming up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's insider trading right there.
Exactly.
Don't you get thrown in prison?
Prison
for a lot of years for this?
Feinstein, Loeffler. Who else? Richard Burr.
Yeah, you got to answer that. That has to be answered for, man. That has to be answered for. But I don't want to hear no bullshit when they get in there talking about, at this point, what difference does it make? No, we ain't hearing that. We ain't hearing that bullshit again.
There was a bill that protects politicians from that because they stated, well, we're going to hear about certain things anyway, so you can't hold us accountable for
that's
doing
horse shit.
You can hear about it all you want. When you act on it, that's a different story.
No, I agree if they're protected, but maybe look at that. I always still look at this half full reset.
Oh, Miss Amelia.
Hi.
What?
Hi there, everybody.
Hi.
To all the listeners who can't.
I'll watch my
listeners.
language.
Oh, yeah.
See, this is what people. I wish we could video this. Do you know how many? This has been. I go out running in my neighborhood when I'm home, and I never see people out. I never see people running out there with me in my neighborhood. Right. And when I've been running this last week that I've been home, because I've been on the road, I'm going to get into that too. I've been on the road the last month. I see kids out playing in the yard together. I see people out walking, husband and wife holding hands, walking down the neighborhood. I see a park where there's kids playing, and it's not crazy kids. No, there's a little family there. I am seeing things that I saw when I was 10.
Yeah.
When I played. Yeah. And that is awesome. So that's where I come back with the positive thoughts. Wait a second. Okay. The controlling thing, but maybe. Night, sweetie.
Do you remember, for the people who can't see Amelia, Pat's young daughter? Hey, Amelia, do you remember me now, Mr. Jeff?
Okay. Yeah. So
I'm going to tell people don't get down that rabbit hole. Worry about Worry about what you got day to day going on. You have the opportunity to be with your family,
Yeah.
play board games, watch movies, do stuff that we used to do as kids, and how awesome it was. And we've kind of lost our way. And I go down the other route too because of my faith being like, wait a second, maybe this is God saying, hey guys, y'all need to reset. You guys need to fix this shit. I'm going to give you the opportunity right now to fix it because I don't want to come back again and have to fix it with, Noah. No, I don't want to bring Noah back in his ark. And I see it that way too. And that is feel like, oh shit, that's scary. Well, no, it's brother. It is what it is. Just make the best of the situation. Also, with the military thing going on, and I told my wife, it's like, and I thought about it. I did. I'm like, God, I hope they don't do that because I want to be home. I don't have to fight anymore. And that's the mindset you're going to have from guys like myself that fought for this country to protect these freedoms, and to have somebody, the government, come in. And a lot of us don't trust the government because of reasons.
Right.
A lot of them have their own Benghazis to tell. Don't do it. I'm like, and that's what we tell. It's not a threat. It's like, don't. Because none of us. I know a lot of guys. A lot of them are talk, but I do know a lot of guys out there that would go ahead and grab up their rifle and, all right, we are not going to let our kids grow up in a socialist country where you guys are going to, and if that makes us more, and believe me, we know how to be martyrs. We learn from the freaking best. Holy shit, Taliban, Al Qaeda. I mean, if you want to know how to make it, it's insurgents. They know how to martyr themselves, and we're a little bit better fighters than them.
Well,
so
let me ask you then, Kris. The red line in the sand for a lot of people, and it's kind of the 10,000-pound elephant or 10-ton whatever elephant in the room, and we talk about how the civil unrest plays out in the chaos. With a lot of people thinking this end game is forced vaccinations. And some people, that's the red line. That's just, you're not, with, like you said, with our knowledge of how governments lied certain times, you just don't trust them. And with what we don't sometimes know about vaccines, et cetera, a lot of people are just not going to have that. But again, with this trauma-based conditioning, some people are like, man, just, I don't care. Give me whatever. Just make this stop. That's a lot of people. But people who are a little bit more informed, in my opinion, aren't going to have it.
Yeah, I think that is part of it. But I think a lot of it, because you see, and I don't know if you guys have paid attention to it. I do, because I'm in that community. I still rep gun companies and ammunition companies, and they're doing very, very well right now. I think what would set it off, and I hope it does, what would set it off would be a national confiscation of legally armed citizens of their guns. That is what would, that would be, and I don't want to see it. Hey, President Trump, I'm not giving you any ideas. Congress, I'm not giving you any ideas. Don't do it. But to me, that would be the
red line,
the vaccinations, I think most of us guys are like, fuck you, vaccinate, no vaccinate, shut up, I ain't taking your vac. But if you were forcibly coming and taking the guy's guns, and I just know, just from what I've seen on sales and ammunition sales, holy shit, I haven't seen sales like this since Barack Obama was elected. I mean, it's been, and Sandy Hook, when they pushed Sandy Hook, like the gun control. Those are the last time I've seen sales like, and now these
and this is probably even more so when you say.
Oh yeah, no, they are.
Selling out of ammo.
Ammunition. Fort Scott Munitions is the company that I rep, and they're back ordered on 9mm and 5.56. I mean, they're back ordered on everything, but those two primarily, because that's pretty much what most civilians carry. The 5.56, the or 223. No, they're 2 weeks back ordered, and they've never been back ordered. And I use their ammo.
Wow.
And I'm like, hey guys, just because I do my training courses, and for all my training courses, the Battleline Tactical training courses, guys, if the range is open, I'm still having a course. So unless we had to shut down Nevada's course because Nevada's governor basically closed Nevada and shut down all the businesses, but if the range lets us have it, we'll be there. But yeah, I'm behind 2 weeks on getting shipments from them, and normally when I need some ammo from them, it's there overnighted. So, but that's not a bad thing either. If that's the people that need to keep the economy going, FedEx drivers are working their asses off right now. UPS, the Walmart people are still working. Target's still working.
The semi drivers are driving like crazy right now.
Crazy. But that's not a bad thing, because that will keep money still going into the economy, which is what we need. So we don't have this freaking reset, dude. People need to. I'm still out there. I watch my money because I don't have an income anymore because of the stuff I was doing was canceled, which is understandable. That's fine. I put a lot of money away, but I still am getting out there, even if it's just a couple bucks. I'm putting a couple bucks back in the economy. So you got to, or else, yeah, you're right. We're going to have the crash, and then that does open that opportunity for that monetary
we've
reset.
we've seen the world economy pretty much just take a huge dump, man. And then it's like, you know, they collapse the global economy, and then they're like, oh no, pump the brakes, calm down. We're going to give you $1,000, but you know that $1,000 probably ain't going to be worth shit. Everything's going to be closed, so you can't put it back to the economy. But here you go.
Yeah. I worry about. I mean, I know people need it. There are people that are that are
For sure.
lost their jobs, that are living paycheck to paycheck. But tell me, and I'm going to ask you, Pat, and I'm going to ask you, Jeff, when you first saw that, my head, and I'm not putting things in your head, I'm just saying, my head, when I saw that, I'm like, socialism. That's what I saw.
Yeah.
I immediately went, okay, common sense, people need it, but God, is that what we're putting them on the tit, man? We're starting to suck everybody on the tit.
You set similar to TARP in 2008, you set the precedent, and then you know it is what it is. But I mean, I don't know, man.
Well, here's what I said to Jeff. Here's what I said to Jeff last night. I said, are you going to cash that check and be a Trumpster, or are you going to tear that check up and be a Constitution-loving American?
Stop taking the stop it. Wash your mouth. Stop taking the Pepsi challenge. It's not Coke or Pepsi, motherfucker. There's some gray here.
I would, if a family had 10 kids or 5 kids or 1 kid and they weren't making any money and they needed ends to meet, I get it. All I said, and I said it on my podcast too, because me and Ian talked about it. It was, I said, there's got to be a regulation for it, as far as a guideline for it. Who gets it? I don't think everybody needs it. Everybody shouldn't get it. But also, there's got to be a date that we say this is the last day everybody gets it, and it's got to stick to adhere to that date. So I agree with kind of the gray area. I'm not going to get. I've put plenty of money away. I'm still doing okay as far as I'm not having a bunch of income. I don't have my main income coming in, but I'm doing okay as far as money. I've got money.
And I'm that dude, and I'm the opposite spectrum. And this isn't a tale of woe, because it is what it is. I was, service industry, bartending, etc. Both jobs pretty much close.
Wow.
Little bit of savings, but I mean, if this draws out 6-8 months, shit. Yeah. So, but again, it's also time to get resourceful too. Find other means of income, which is this show. We're working from home. Support the farm, theconspiracyfarm.com, and support those sponsors. It all helps, man.
You could always go back to being a gigolo.
Well, who said I stopped, bro? Why you blow up my spot?
Touche. Well played. Fist bump. Nice job. Bam. Man, we wouldn't have that self-respective distance, or whatever the hell they're calling it. I would have given you a hug for that one. That was fun. That was quick, dude. I agree. I think there is a little bit of gray right now, right at this moment. Ask me that next year, you're still taking the money?
No.
Hell no. You better be. Unless we are for some reason have went down that rabbit hole of socialism. Somehow that happened, which I can't see that in the U.S. There's people like yourselves out there, but I know.
Here's the thing: they already floated the idea that they're talking about suspending all mortgage payments for an entire year here in America, which they've already done in Italy, by the way. And that, how do the banks survive that?
They don't. And that's where you always have to toy. Do I go take my money out of the bank? Do I leave it? You take your money out of the bank, you're actually catering to them, though. That's
and
the thing I told you.
And then that deliberately, they will know. They know the economy. Look, I got punched in the head for a living for a lot of years, and I know that derivatives bubble will pop straight away.
Quadrillions.
At 1.5 quadrillion, like we talked about last night, which is 4 times the world economy. The derivatives bubble pops. It's bad. It's gonna pop.
Well, in another part of this, as we tumble down this rabbit hole, because this is what it is. A lot of the stores and a lot of eateries.
Sorry to interrupt. What I love is between you and Kris. You keep trying to get him to go down the rabbit hole, and he won't do it.
I'm just saying these things are what they are. I'm not making anything up. This isn't like machinations of my own psychosis. That's why I'm saying I want the realistic analysis. So a part of this, a lot of eateries that are staying open, they're not taking cash. They're only taking credit. So as a part of this reset, could they possibly, and I know you're probably, be ambiguous about it, but that's all right. Are they possibly getting rid of cash to bring in this, to basically cashless society, digital currency, with moving years down the line to possibly, like you said, the worst case scenario, China being the end game?
Gosh, it is a possibility that they're trying to do all that. Again, it's just so early to tell.
It is,
and I just can't. But I'm never going to what you're saying. I'm not going to rule out any of it because I've thought the same things, and I'm not going, nah, that would never happen.
Right.
I'm thinking, well, that's
a realistic scenario.
Okay, and then what people have to do though is now set themselves up for success, whatever that scenario should be, to be strong. Like I if I can't buy something and pay for it, I don't buy it. So I pay everything. I don't have.
I agree with that philosophy.
Debt, baby, and that wasn't from this. I've done that for my mom and dad raised me that way. That's just how it was.
Right.
I have a lot of money saved up. That now my thing is because if I go down that rabbit hole all the way, if I went down all the way in the rabbit hole, I'm taking all that money out of the bank. It's gone.
Yeah.
You're not getting my money. That's mine.
Yeah.
But then I'm thinking, but wait a second. If everything goes to credit, I'm going to need it in there. Well, wait a second. If I take it all out, I'm catering to everybody that wants the economy to collapse because that's going to help collapse.
Yeah, right.
I have a lot of money in that bank. I do. For a dumbass Ranger, I've been able to put a lot of money away.
It's those damn sunglasses, dude. Those freaking made you a millionaire.
Sunglasses, man. Some motherfuckers. I should have made a lot. They owe me so much more money than what they paid for these damn things.
Well, as we entertain possibilities in these public restrictions of spaces, in addition to the vaccine 10-pound gorilla or 10-ton, I keep fucking that up. The elections possibly being canceled. How realistic is that scenario with what we're seeing right now? And them extending, this could go to August, this could go to July. They keep extending how long this could go.
That's another red flag if they cancel the elections, especially the presidential election, which what do we have, 2 more years? How many years?
No, November. November's this is the election.
Oh, it's November. Yeah, and I'm implementing presidential powers to remain in power. Nope, I've seen that before. Saddam, Gaddafi,
Emperor Palpatine in Star Wars.
No, sorry, that's another red flag. That's gonna, that's when it's like, all right, this shit is for real, right? To all you guys out there that are looking at that as possibility, and again, don't panic, people. I'm not telling you to panic.
That's what we do on the Conspiracy Farm. Especially now, we're in straight panic mode right now.
What I want people that are thinking that also to realize as well is that there are, and they're not going to put their names out there, but there are gentlemen like myself, like-minded individuals that are going to be, and I don't want, because I just want to be a dad. I want to be that Clint Eastwood old guy sitting on my porch. Leave me the fuck alone. I just want to enjoy the rest of my life in the twilight years. I don't want to have to go back to fighting. But you push me that far, all right? Then you got it. You want this. You poke the bear enough, and there's plenty of bears out
Everybody
there.
should
That's
go.
Not bravado.
No, go watch the movie. What's that old school movie, Commando, with Arnold Schwarzenegger? He's like, dude, just leave me alone, and I just want to raise my daughter.
And that's it.
Well, I was going to say Kris Paronto in Torino too.
Torino, and I'm going to be that old. I'm 50. I am in the category. I am in the high threat category of getting the Michelob Corona, Corona and Lime virus, whatever the hell it's called. But I just want people.
Racist,
and
dude.
why say that?
Racist.
Yeah, no. I want people to know why I'm saying that. It's not because any of us want to get in a fight. It's not a bravado. We're not looking for anything. I'm not. I'm perfectly happy growing old, playing with my kids, coaching football, retiring. I'm happy with that. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
But I want people to know that, and also if there are politicians listening out there, not all of us are going to lay down. It's just not. I don't want my kids growing up like that. No. And if that means I've already been willing to sacrifice my life for this country once.
Yeah.
You fucking think I'm not going to do it again? And I know there's hundreds of thousands of other veterans out there. Former SEALs. You think Jose Serta, and I'm throwing his name out there, but Jose, Navy SEAL, you think he's going to lay down? Fuck no. He's going to be out there on his Harley, Harley mowing people down. He's going to put up with his shit. And Jose, I don't want to talk for you, but that's what I'm talking about. It's just there are many people in this country, men and women, that would stand up. Yeah, and then if that happens, brother, yeah, then you can tell me you told me so, and I'm like, you're right, you told me so, but I gotta go. I gotta get out and stop this shit. Wolverine.
Get on the good foot and do the bad thing.
I've had some conversations with a couple friends who, one is a U.S. congressman, another one a senator. State senator, and a couple other fellows in office. And I tell you what, Jeff, you saw the screenshot. I said, in my mind, I gave what I felt it was, that it was potentially to cover for an economic collapse. This is just a camouflage for it.
Brother, it's possible. You could be right on that too.
And he came back with, I said, I think that an economic collapse is going to cost way more lives than the virus ever dreamed of taking. And he said, there will be more suicides from an economic collapse than the virus. Just suicides alone from an economic collapse, let alone. Yeah. So the thing is I think this is being used for cover, because there have been, as you said, so many other reasons that we would have gone on lockdown for the swine flu, you know, all the bird flu, the this, the that. You know, it almost killed my mother-in-law. Well, she's from Montreal, but she got it, and that almost killed her. But so that's what I'm saying is this: they have to be making a big deal out of this for different reason.
Something. Yeah, right. It's if you look at the statistics too, you see that 90% of people that are getting this are recovering on their own. If anybody that has had kids before knows, if then they have a virus and you take them to the doctor, what's the doctor tell you? It's a virus. You just got to let it go out. We got nothing for it. You just got to let their immune system take care of it. Well, that's all this is. It's a flu on steroids. It's not the flu. Okay, it's a flu on steroids. It's a what's the word? I'm looking for a boutique. It's a boutique flu. There we go. It's a boutique, but most people are recovering from it. And I think SARS, if people want to look at SARS, if they want to look at the death rate of people that got SARS and then actually died, it's higher. And I know I have the year, guys, look it up. Actually, the death rate was higher per person that got SARS that weren't able to recover from it. So again, I'm the same way, brother.
It just doesn't add up, man. Don't add up.
It doesn't. It's like there's something that doesn't smell right. Economic reset, possible. That is an option. Going to socialism, yeah, but why the hell would Trump do it unless he was lying the whole time? Which
he did teach Vince McMahon, as Jeff has said. I'm quoting Jeff. Trump taught Vince McMahon how to be Vince McMahon. We could be witnessing the past 3.5 years the greatest WWE rope-a-dope show we have ever seen, and I'm not convinced of it. Look, I'm somewhere between. Trump could be a white hat. He could be. Q could be. Who knows? Q could be right about all this stuff, and there's mass arrests going on. Because we've heard of cartel arrests and mafia arrests and stuff being true, but we don't know about all the high-profile pedophiles, satanic pedophiles, all that stuff. Even though we know some of that shit goes on, Jeff's certainly going to tell you Q's full of shit, Trump's full of shit. He doesn't believe any of it. Because he's just doubtful about everything, which is, I guess.
Well, I'm just pragmatic about it. I think it's the new age of what we look at in politicians is different. Obama sold himself as rock star, big smile, and I know Jay-Z, I'm the man. He sold himself as this outsider, but then surrounded himself with just straight professional politicians. Trump has swung that cult of personality to the right, has basically sold himself as this outsider, but then surrounded himself with Goldman Sachs and not Larry Summers, but John Bolton, these neocons, et cetera. So I mean, again, I judge somebody by their fruits. And again, politics it's theater. It's the theater of politics. You know what I mean? It's never really what it is. There's always some machinations going behind the scenes as we've known. But so whatever. I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong.
I don't trust politicians because I have been lied to and been in a known situation where they were full of shit. They lied about the whole time, even when people were dying. They were willing to lie about a situation, even when there were deaths going on, and also when they could have helped out and stopped more deaths that night, that particular, were you sworn to help it, your commander-in-chief, you're sworn to help your boys, man, and you didn't, and then you lied about it. So I know politicians are full of shit just because I've experienced that personally with in war, in a combat situation. Right. And so I don't trust politicians either, bro. Trump again. Has he done good things? Yes, he got the economy up, but here we are again, coming back to what the hell is going on? I don't trust. Yeah, that's where my little spider sense starts tingling, going, something's not right, man. But I just don't know what it is. Is it what Pat's saying? Is it what Jeff's saying?
But it's like you said, we gotta wait for it to play. Yeah, we gotta wait for it to play. Unfortunately, in this horrible situation, you gotta wait for it to play out to really see how bad it can get or not get.
Yeah, and we've got to be smart. Look, you can't just say, okay, everybody go back to work and spread it, because there are people, as I said before, look, I have a 6-year-old daughter, I have other children, I have pre-existing condition that potentially could give me lung issues because I grew up in a house with black mold my whole childhood. My lungs are pretty jacked up. I'm surprised that I was able to do what I did athletically with jacked up lungs. I just had to train twice as hard as everybody. I have a mother-in-law who had the swine flu or bird flu that really beat her up. So we have to be careful for these people that we care about so that they don't get sick and pass away. So that is important. Then you've got other people who are, the economy imploding is going to cost more lives. So it's tough, man. It's a moral dilemma that our president has to deal with now. And you got to say, look, we can't let people go out and work and give this to the folks who are susceptible to potentially passing away from it.
Yeah, and you're right. Common sense. You do have to be careful with it, and that's fine. And we have the ability to work from home. A lot of people are already working from home already before this even happened. So I get that. And you can the best case scenario. Yeah, it is. We're trying to be proactive. We're trying to do the best we can with it. We're trying to get it out. So a lot of people don't get sick. That's the best case scenario. It will play out as it gets warmer out there. As it always in the spring comes and things, it will fix it. So they'll find a vaccine. We got the smartest doctors in the world. They will figure a vaccine out.
Are you going to take the vaccine? Are you going to take the vaccine?
No, I don't take vaccines. Fuck no. No.
Well, we just had Tim James on, who I told you to be a great guest for you. Talking about chlorine dioxide, knocking this stuff out left and right, and the drug, I forget the name of the drug that they're talking about in the administration that has to be approved by the FDA, a malaria drug will knock it down. And that's how the doctor that we talked about that discovered chlorine dioxide being so effective, he was on a trip in the Amazon, an expedition in the Amazon. They were looking for diamonds or whatever it was, and he's a doctor. And a couple of the guys in the expedition were dying from malaria. They were stuck in the jungle. They couldn't move these guys. And he took this bottle of water purification pills and said, it purifies water. Why wouldn't it work on these guys? And just had them start eating it like crazy. And it healed them.
Just water purification pills, huh? No, I remember used to take
pills. So I would say, look, I'm not a doctor. But if you're dying of malaria or coronavirus, maybe eat some water purification tablets because you got nothing to lose.
Well, that's brilliant. And that's how people figure it out. I think that's how we figure out a lot of vaccines and remedies to viruses and bacteria. That guys are sitting around drinking
scurvy.
beer.
Like what? Scurvy? All you needed was a lime or an orange? Shit!
Like somebody had put a lime in their Corona, and when they had scurvy, and like, holy shit, I feel 10 times better. Look at this, I got some vitamin C. But go down and just don't stress about it. You can't. You're going to stress a little. Everybody's going to stress a little, especially if you have kids. I have a 4-year-old. I don't want my 4-year-old to get either. Honestly, I think he had it a month ago when we left the gym, and I've never seen my boy that sick. This was last month after. And fever and
see, I keep hearing that. I've never seen this person that sick before. Pat, you just, it's crazy. That can't be a coincidence.
But my little 4-year-old, he got, he's 4 days. It's out, bum. He's back out running around, running everywhere.
Yeah, they're young and strong. Luckily, So my dilemma, you say, don't stress, don't do this. I had kind of a unique situation, and I can say it now because my kids are all home safe now. My wife's home safe now. After talking to politicians, folks in the military, folks in the National Guard, leaders in the National Guard, several other folks, economists, and all the conversations I had with them when I had a kid, a 15-year-old in Houston with her godparents, one 6-year-old on the east coast of Florida with a relative, and then my wife and 17-year-old were on the west coast of Florida, and I went, listen, this is not good. This is not good. I want to get them all back home, and I ruined some vacations.
They'll get over it.
But they're home safe. And if this thing kicked off as bad as these politicians are telling me, And somebody said, look, one of the politicians said flat out, this thing goes south and takes a grave turn within 72 hours. After his meetings with Homeland Security people and other politicians, he said this thing takes a grave turn in 72 hours. And that was a couple days ago. And I did not want all hell to break loose with my family separated in different places like that. And not, at least they've got here in Iowa, it's pretty safe in Iowa. Kris, you're in Nebraska. It's safe in Nebraska, pretty safe. You know what I mean? And you know how to take care of yourself.
Yeah.
I know how to take care of myself. I'm not as good at what you do, but I can caveman the shit out of people.
Oh, you can. That's all it turns into. But that's what I want people also to realize. Stress, a little bit of stress, you need in your life to be healthy. But too much stress, that's going to make your immune system worse, guys.
That's what we talked about last night.
You're doing yourself no service by stressing, overstressing, because guess what you're doing? I'm not going to say you're going to get the coronavirus, but you're going to get the flu. You're going to get sick, and then that's going to create more stress. And guys, allergy season's coming up too.
Yes.
How many people are going to get allergies and be like, "Holy shit, I got the coronavirus," and just go just spiral?
Yeah, hypochondriacs.
Oh my God,
So,
that's what we're.
So do you know Kevin Reichard?
How do I know Kevin? I do know Kevin.
Reichard.
I know the name, but maybe it's just from social media. But I know the name, man. I don't know why. But
He said, tell him Tack Daddy says hello.
Oh, Tack Daddy. Yes, I know Tack Daddy. He's Tack Daddy. That's another that has handled his daughter was at the that high school shooting, the big high school shooting where the resource officer didn't go back inside, and he was, he's a Tack Daddy's awesome. He's a big gun guy, but he was, the families at that high school kind of blasted him because he's a gun supporter in Florida, but he recovered. He's a talented guy. Yeah, tell him Kevin's awesome, man.
Well, he's listening right now, and he said what his exact words were: tell him Tack Daddy says hello, and then duck.
Oh shit! No, I can't duck anymore. I told you I'm 50. I can't get back up anymore if I duck.
I think he's telling me to duck.
Down.
Oh, I'm saying you to duck. But no, I do. The possibilities of things going completely awful, and this being socialism and the government gaining control and Trump being a dictator. Am I going to ever rule it? No, I'm not, because I've been around governments that do that. I don't trust my own politicians for what I've been through. So, no, I will always have that distrust. I think most gun owners, that's why you're seeing the purchase of all this ammunition, because they've been threatened for take away their guns so many times in their rights. There is that general distrust. Doesn't matter who's in charge. But that's not necessarily a bad thing at this point.
Well, and people are kind of seeing through this, quite frankly. I mean, they're seeing this shit just is not adding up. I mean, it just doesn't make sense. So, and I know you said we only had you for an hour, man. Give us your shout out, Pat. Go ahead, but give us a shout out.
Pat, finish up.
Yeah.
Pat, finish up with what you had to say, brother, and then I got a few more minutes, man.
Okay, I just want to be mindful of your time, brother.
No, thank you, because I'm gonna go down and play. We got Mr. Mouth. It's an old game we used to play where you hit flies into this little frog that goes around.
I remember that.
My little 4-year-old loves. Oh yeah, I found it. Me and him are playing it. So I guess it's my turn to go be red and lose again, because
yeah, you gotta do that. We won't keep you, but we just obviously we hope for the best. We hope that things turn around quickly. The cone of the spread seems to be something that lasts for. I mean,
yeah.
If it really started spreading here, they say potentially in November. When did it start in China? How long it's been going on here already, and it's expanding now, they say. So how long is that spread going to go on? How long are they going to make us stay home? All this stuff. So people need to prepare. I'm trying to get as creative as possible, because look, I do broadcasts. I do live broadcasts for combat sports, for UFC Fight Pass and the LFA events. So for me, I'm out of work also. We do the podcast. I've got some other stuff that's going on too, but it's a trying time for a lot of people out there, and so people need to stay in touch with each other, get workouts in, eat right.
Oh yeah,
do everything you're supposed to do, man, and take care of yourself and be stronger coming out of this than you were going in.
Without a doubt.
And you have the opportunity to. This has been great. I've been able to get like my actual routine workouts again, and I'm back, 5 miles easy. I mean, like I used to, and working out. And I got a nice gym, and I guess I'm not a prepper, but I'm a very antisocial person. So even when this wasn't going on, I liked staying at home. I had a gym membership, but I have a nice gym in my house. I'd rather stay at my house. So, I mean, I just go downstairs and I got a nice gym in my house, work out, and then I'll go run outside. And I advise people, find stuff like that to do. Play with your kids, get out, and, but also I tell people, there's still plenty of jobs. If guys out there worried about jobs, FedEx is still kicking. I'm actually going back to an insurance adjusting, cat insurance adjusting, because there's always going to be hurricanes and tornadoes. And I'm getting my certification redone on the 31st, going back to a company to, I feel like, how can you do that? What are you talking about? I like to work. I'll be employed, and there's always going to be a catastrophe, whether it's fire, whether it's tornadoes, whether it's hurricanes. I'm working back with the NFIP, so I'm doing that. So I tell a lot of veterans too, well, I can't do that. I can't. No, you're gonna have to, set your pride aside, man. Yeah. You got to provide for your family. But then again, if the whole economy tanks and we end up going to, then it doesn't matter.
Right.
Then it doesn't. But it's not going to do that. Jeff, shut up. It's not going to happen. There, where's my wood? Knock on wood.
Fingers crossed, baby. Fingers crossed.
Do you think that next year, and if this, I know people are going to be pissed off with this, but because we're joking about it, but knock on wood. But then I come on your show next year if we have to, because we're going to have to do pirate radio. You guys can be driving around a van. What was that? There was a movie where they were doing that, where they were driving around doing their
pump up the volume, dude. Pump up the volume, bro.
With Christian
the
Slater,
original podcast, Hard Harry Hard On, man.
Hard Harry Hard On, and we're gonna be doing that. I'm gonna be like, yeah, you told me so. All right, I got to go get back to work. Click.
All right,
slide going forward. Click. I see you. We'll get going. But no, bro, you guys are doing just there's got to be some positivity that comes out of this.
There will.
Not just the doom and gloom.
Yeah,
it
for
is.
sure.
I see it more in people.
It's always darkest before the dawn, baby.
Damn right it is. You're right.
Hey, shout out where we can find your podcast, my man.
Let's all start. What was that? Go ahead, Jeff.
No, I was going to say, Kris, to shout out to where we can find that podcast.
Oh, yeah. It's Battleline Podcast. But if you go to my website, KrisTantoParonto.net, you're going to see the podcast. You can click it from there. You can click the Battleline Tactical page, which, again, if we have courses coming up, which we do a lot of training, if the range and the state stays, I can't believe I'm saying that. If the state stays
exactly.
open, we will be there. We will be there, and we will be training. For some reason, the Corona Michelova Modella virus doesn't like gunpowder. I don't know what that is. It just doesn't like it. And then also just you can go to my Facebook page, but Battleline Tactical or Battleline Podcast, and definitely. And of course, we're always been promoting Conspiracy Farm. You did it today. You saw it going up, definitely.
We appreciate that, and the folks out there that are scared and everything else, man. Everything's. Just take care of yourself. Take care of your family again, and yeah, man, get focused. Get up in the morning early. Get a workout in. Get your endorphins right.
Dang right.
Start out your day correctly, right?
All those honeydews, get them done. You got time. Go get them done. I got to paint my deck. I am looking forward to actually working in my yard. Man, I haven't got to work in my yard. I don't know how many years I've been able to work in my yard or do stuff around the house. It's been years because I just either deployed or I was doing this all the time. And when I got home for 2 days, I was like, I don't want to do anything.
This is a bigger reset than just what we were talking about. Like I'm telling you, there's a lot of, like you said, you're going down and playing an old school game. There's a big reset taking place, and it's cool. There is a silver lining to this. You're absolutely right, Kris. I appreciate you, man. Support the farm. Support what we do. TheConspiracyFarm.com. We are working from home, ladies and gentlemen. Incredible sponsors. The concealed carry clothing, My Patriot Supply. Just go to the website, Chemical Free Body. It's stuff that's really conducive to what's going on right now. Get yourself healthy. Have some nice, some comfy clothes so you can rock your concealed carry. Some storable food. It's all in the wheelhouse of what we're dealing with right now. So, Kris, Pat,
I got another one on now, Jeff.
Look at that.
What is that? What is that? Lift that up. Lift that up again. Let me see. What do you have?
That's
nice. Sexy. The C4.com concealed carry clothing company.
Oh, but that's right. I was in Davenport. I forgot to tell you. We drove through because I spoke in Indiana. Oh, for all you people out there, just to let you know, Tanto was out all last month. California twice, Kansas City once, Indiana once, Fort Worth once. I flew on all the planes. I don't know how many hands I shook and how many hugs I got. Thousands. I mean, because of the speaking events I was at. didn't catch the coronavirus. Just to let you know. I'm just want to stay positive out there.
I'm with it.
Not one time. And that was all last month, and I was supposed to go back and do another one this week. 2 of them actually. I was supposed to speak in the Bahamas. Son of a bitch, that got canceled.
That's a rough one.
Yeah. So, but guys, just don't believe all the hype. Okay, just chill the hell out.
Right.
Chill out.
This too shall pass, ladies and gentlemen.
You guys froze on me and my listeners on Facebook Live. So you were saying you shook thousands of hands, traveled, and did not get the coronavirus.
And I was on the planes, in the hotels.
But remember why you didn't get it, because you've already had it and built an immunity.
I really think I did. I mean, I'll be honest. I can't believe how awfully sick I was, and I just did. And when I'm that sick, I do what the drill sergeant always goes in my head. When my first drill sergeant told me, just like I said at the beginning, he always says, "Run it out," and that's what I did. And I ran. I mean, I was felt death, but I was just out there. I ran 3 miles, I ran 4 miles, and then my wife can't even tell you. But just it's a virus. If you get it, hope God forbid you do, but if you do, just drink some orange juice, suck it up, power through. Your immune system will power you through that shit.
Yeah.
It will. And whoever hates on those comments, kiss my ass. I don't care. Whatever.
Right.
Fuck them and feed them beans.
So.
Yeah. Awesome. I appreciate it, guys, man.
Absolutely.
You guys are awesome.
Kris, Tanto, Paronto, thank you
Kris.
for your time, bro. Appreciate you, man. Peace and so much love, you guys. Love you guys. Stay healthy.
Guys.
Take care of everybody and take care of yourselves. Peace and so much love.